Hi, I'm Jim McNair, and I'm here at the Kershaw and Zero Tolerance booth. We're here at SHOT Show 2020. I'd like to show you some of the new items we have out for this year. So, first off, we have some new traditionals. We've done these in the past as the Kershaw brand, but this year we're bringing them back. We have 3 new designs. We have a single-bladed Barlow, and we have a 2-bladed Stockman, and we have a two-bladed Trapper and a 3-bladed Stockman. So these are really nice little knives. They're the traditional build. We have brass liners with a steel lock spring, 7CR 17 blades on all 3 of these, and 3 nice options with the Barlow and the Trapper and the Stockman. The Barlow here is called the Culpepper, and the 2-bladed Trapper is called the Gadsden, and then the 3-bladed Stockman is called the Brandywine. So the Trapper is the cheapest at $35 US, and then each of these would be $40 US. They feature polished G10 handles, and that's something that for us has been kind of neat because these are very traditional knives, but we feel like this nice polished and contoured G10 gives it a bit of a contemporary flair. So once again, $35, $40 US, and $40. So next up, we have a couple of new USA offerings for the Kershaw lineup. You may have seen these before. We have our 1776 Link, and we have our 1812 Dividend. But we've taken these and we've changed them up a bit. The original Link and Dividend were always kind of a value priced item for a USA knife, and we still feel like these are a value price item, but for a different reason now. So we've taken them and we've upgraded the blade steels. We have a CPM 20 CV on the Link, and we have a CPM D2 composite blade on the Dividend. And so with these knives, we've also given them a new olive green handle, new machining, gives it a real nice, cool look. Each of these knives now also has a deep carrier reversible pocket clip, and the MSRP on these is $130 for either one. So $130 for CPM 20 CV or for that composite blade with the CPM D2. We really feel like that's a great value for a high-end steel and for the construction of these knives. So next up, we have something a little more familiar. This is our 1660 Leek, but we're now offering it with a nice polished copper handle. So see this here, it's our standard Leek configuration. We have a nice brushed finish on the copper. We've upgraded the blade steel to a CPM 154, and we have that same great speed safe action and slim profile, so it's real easy to carry, real comfortable. The Leek is still a popular knife for us, and with an MSRP of $150, we think this will be a really nice option with the copper handles and the cool patina that it gets over time. So moving back to some more imported products, we have the Highball. This is a new option for us this year, and so in our import lineup, we've got kind of 3 grades at this point. We have our starter series, which are a little more of an entry level, our standard series, which are 8CR 13 and some different features, and these are a little more of a high-end import Kershaw. So these this knife is upgraded with a D2 blade. Really nice, little added edge retention. We have a gray PVD finish on this particular knife. Instead of a flipper or a thumb stud, we have this nice deep groove in the blade. It's a little hard to see, but this edge up here makes it real easy to catch your thumb on it. Open and close the knife. This one is running on our KVT ball bearing washers, which makes it extra slick when you open and close it. We have these cool anodized aluminum blue trim rings that give just a pop of color to this otherwise austere knife. And then we have a single position pocket clip on this to finish it off. This knife has an MSRP of $110 US. So next up, we have a new collaborative design with Dmitry Sienkiewicz. He's our designer that we work with, who is based out of Belarus. This is called the Tumbler. So the Tumbler is again one of Dmitry's designs. We really like this nice flowing look with the drop point blade. We have a 2-tone finish. It's also a D2 blade, again a nice upgrade on this knife. We have a stone wash with satin flats. We have G10 handles with carbon fiber overlay. This gives it a real nice look and a two-tone appeal. We're using our sub-frame lock mechanism on this knife as well. We have a reversible deep carry pocket clip, goes all the way to the end of the knife, real easy to put in your pocket and have it carry nice and deep. It's running on our KVT ball bearing washers, and this knife really has just great action. It's very smooth, very snappy, and an MSRP of $110 on this one. So next up, one more of our, what I'd call more of a high-end import Kershaw. This is the NORAD. In this case, we have steel handles with carbon fiber inserts. Once again, a D2 blade with a deep fuller in the blade. We have a two-tone finish with gray PVD and that grinder satin. Gives it a real nice sparkle. Custom pivot hardware. Can't really see it very well on camera, but the inside of these handles has been weight relieved. So while it has a little bit of heft, it's still very comfortable to carry. On the back side, we have our deep carry pocket clip, which is reversible. Another carbon fiber insert, and if you can see here, the lock bar cut actually takes a little bit of a zigzag downward. And so what that does is that creates a little landing for your fingers. So we find sometimes our customers will have their fingers on the lock bar with these manual KVT ball bearing knives, and it can make it a little harder to open. So having that little landing pad for your finger, just make sure that it's in the right place, makes it a little easier to open that knife. Another neat feature is that we have the hidden flipper in the open position. It's just a really fun, cool, new contemporary piece, and an MSRP of $110 on this one. So finally, one more in our new upgraded Kershaw lineup. This is the Payout. Payout again has a D2 blade, stonewash finish. We have a cool stonewash steel bolster with a great machine pattern in it, G10 scale. And then we have these great machined aluminum accents with a copper finish for the trim ring, the tube spacer, and also for our over travel stop on the back. So it's got a really attractive theme running through the knife. Deep carry pocket clip, solid frame lock mechanism. Another neat thing is this is a relatively big knife. It's got a very comfortable grip. Even with that curved shape, it actually fits really well in the hand. And yet being so big, it's actually relatively slim. That blade is slim and wide with a high flat grind, so it's just gonna slice really well. And it's slim enough that it fits nicely in your pocket. So once again, this has an MSRP of $110. This is the Kershaw Payout. So now something in our standard lineup. This is a new knife from Jens Anso. This has been a really neat little piece for us. Has an MSRP of $35. We have an 8CR13 MOV blade. We have injection molded scales. We have a really cool blue anodized backspacer. And we have a deep carry pocket clip. So this again has been a really fun knife. This is the 1180. We call this one the Hub. And it's got a liner lock mechanism, easy one-handed opening, and it really makes a great little keychain knife. And an MSRP of $35, so it's quite affordable. So last but not least, this is something that we don't do very often anymore in our lineup. This is our new fixed blade. This is fitting into our Camp series, so we call this the Camp 5. Kind of a little brother to the Camp 10, the larger machete that we build. So Camp 5 features dual retention, so it has retention in the sheath, and we have this nice strap here to keep it in place. You press this here on the sheath, it slides right out. And once you slide it back in, it actually locks it in. It's not too hard to get out, but it gives it enough so it's not going to just fall out on you. Great injection molded sheath, very comfortable. The Velcro strap to make it easy to get on and off your belt. And then the knife itself has a D2 blade, nicely contoured injection molded handles, and it's really nice to see that full contour. Makes it very comfortable, easy to hold. A little bit of texture here for your thumb on the ramp. And again, this is one of the things that I really appreciate. We have a blade that's thick enough, but not too thick. And so it's got a nice weight to it, but it's not overly heavy. And yet it's thick enough that it's strong. You know, it could be, we don't generally recommend that people pry with our knives, but if you ever were in a pinch and you really needed to, it's got enough girth that it will hold up for you. So again, and that D2 steel holds a keen edge and really keeps it for a lot longer. So again, a really fun piece, really great for the outdoors. And this is an MSRP of $95. So this is just a sampling of our new products for 2020. If you'd like to see more of them, please check them out at knivesandtools.com. Thanks and have a great day.